Live. This is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is July 5th, 2012. It is Thursday, the eve of Friday. We made it past the 4th of July. And here's your news update for today. We'll go to the extinction protocol first, 2012 and beyond. Smaller volcanic eruptions could cool climate according to satellite research. Also, let's see, Bolivia. Concern grows over H1N1 outbreak in Bolivia. Also, Argentina turns to the east and signs military agreement with China. Heads up. Also, looming resource war. China begins stockpiling rare earths in strategic reserves. And they show you where all the reserves are. Oh, fireworks is going off again. It's year-round over here in Florida. Seeds of World War III, Hezbollah and Iran say they will fight with Assad to defend Syria against any invasion. Okay, the rest is from yesterday. Moving on. We'll go into possibly SOT.net. Let's see what's going on over there. Here we go. And remind you, this is the high-speed internet I have over here. My goodness. It's almost time to defrag this computer and to take everything extra off because my internet is so fast. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Cold comfort. Unless you live in Seattle, you likely did not know that the National Weather Service just announced that the city endured its third coolest June on record. Drought hits 56% of continental U.S. Significant toll on crops. And that was reported by MSNBC. Giant 30mm Chinese sinkhole opens up on road and swallows car. Heads up. More sinkholes all around the world. Smoke from western wildfires reaches Atlantic Ocean. And they show a satellite picture. Underwater eruption strews ocean surface with dead fish. Where is this? Oh, and that was near the Canary Islands, off of Africa. More animal deaths, but it was from a volcano, they're saying. Even smaller volcanoes can cool Earth's climate. Rain of fire, meteorites, wildfires, planetary chaos, and the sixth extinction. Okay, anything else today? No. Not that I can tell. I can't figure it out. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the watchers. Watching the world. Okay. Here we go. I can only have the broadcast going and one window open, If not, it's even slower than this. I apologize for right now. We'll have to take care of this somehow. Tropical storm Daniel likely to become Pacific hurricane. Also, let's get rid of this. Strong solar activity continues, minor geomagnetic storm possible. And that's dated July 6th. You're getting it here first. Also July 6th. Record-breaking expanse of drought across the U.S. Sun ain't giving us a rest. After series of M-class events and M6.1 peaked at 11:44 UTC time, July 6th. This is posted. NASA claims hidden portals between Earth and Sun exist, setting up a mission to find them. Oh, some kind of portals. Monster sunspot M flare attack. Solar Watch, July 5th, 2012. Monster sunspot 1515 continues to unleash impulsive M-class solar flares in the last 24 hours. 12 M-class flare eruptions have been reported. 12 of them. I didn't report on 12 of them. And that active region is 11513. That's another active region. Okay, dated today. 2 more M-class events from Sunspot 1515, M2.4, M2.2. Tropical depression 4E near Mexico getting better organized. Also today. Hundreds of wildfires burn across Russia. Smoke reaches Mongolia. Solar activity increased to high levels July 4th, 2012 summary. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to Fukushima. Let's see what good news is coming out of Fukushima today. Hopefully it is good news, yeah? Depends who's telling you, who's giving you the news. That's what I say. Let's see. E&E. We're going to E&E. E&E News. E&E News. Energy News. Let's move on. We'll go into Fukushima. Let's see what's going on there. It's like still loading even though I'm on here. Let's see. July 5th. Okay. Might be nothing new. Fukushima Daiichi worker. TEPCO is hiding information about leakage of radioactive water from plant. Boy, that's a surprise. Japan government. System must be established to deal with long-term public health effects of Fukushima disaster. Grave concerns about radiation exposure. Oh, they have concerns now. New York Times report suggests extensive damage from quake at Fukushima Daiichi. Pipes may have burst, leading to loss of cooling within 30 minutes. Cast doubts on safety of Japan's entire fleet of nuclear plants. We have the same nuclear... Hey, New York Times! New York Times! Why don't you say we also have the same design, the same exact reactors over here across the United States? Why don't you say that also? Why not add that into that? It should be all a part of the same report. Don't you agree out there in cyber world? Cyberland? New York Times. Report suggests. See, it won't even say. They can't even say. The report suggests extensive damage from quake at Fukushima Daiichi. It's been more than a year. Can't the report say, yes, yes, we have cameras in there and we know there has been extensive damage from quake at Fukushima Daiichi. Why can't you report the truth? Not it suggests. By now you have all the facts in, you have the photos, and you know it's the same designs of this same type of reactors over here in the U.S. Why don't reporters, don't you live by any of these reactors? You don't think you're not going to be affected by this? Don't you care about your families in the United States? I'm serious. What do they call it? Prostitutes? Okay, moving on. I'm sorry for that outrage. Misoma official. Highly contaminated black algae observed everywhere due to bioaccumulation. Kyoto. Fukushima plant remains vulnerable to quakes. And that's from the government. And also today, NRC official, 90% chance that 90% chance that containment vessels used at Fukushima would burst from fuel melting down. Well, what were those hydrogen explosions? Wasn't that part of that? Japan Parliament releases Fukushima report disaster was clearly man-made. Evidence quake damage safety equipment, not tsunami. Japan Parliament releases Fukushima report disaster was clearly man-made. Evidence quake damage safety equipment, not tsunami. So they're saying from the Japan Parliament that the disaster was caused basically by the design and where it was put, causing it to be a clearly man-made disaster. Evidence quake damage safety equipment, not tsunami. Oh, it took that long to figure that out. But you want to restart stuff and do more man-made disasters because these plants are on fault lines. So by the government saying it's okay to start it up, obviously you haven't learned from your man-made mistakes, have you? Yes, Japanese government. Crimes against humanity. You already know that it was from the earthquake. Then you know it was because there's a fault line there. And now you know. And you wanted to restart the OE nuclear plants. And you had trouble even when you started it. There's trouble at Daini, not just Daiichi. And obviously, now that we can see that, maybe the United States can figure out that it's going to be a man-made disaster when one of these other nuclear plants fail and melt down because of being on a fault line. Correct? Or am I wrong? There's your warning. Now you have it. You can't say if, and, or but, or what, or maybe if, and this could or might not happen. Guess what? You better take action about these plants being on fault lines and shut them down. Kyoto feature. This is 4th of July. Residents complaining of unexplained hair loss, diarrhea, fatigue around Fukushima plant. Retired doctor. Complaining of unexplained. Yes, it can be explained. I have a 1950s or 60s movie or something. You can look at the day after. You can check back on all your old medical records. That is why radiation is used as a weapon, and those are the symptoms of radiation poisoning. Is that hard to figure out? It's not complaining of unexplained. It is explained. It's from the radiation. Yes, indeedy. All these are radiation poisoning symptoms. How hard is that? Do I need to tell you that as a master of health administration? Do I need to tell you that for being, I went to chiropractic school. Do I need to tell you that? The same med classes. Didn't you take all the same classes as I did? Those are symptoms of radiation poisoning. So you say they're suffering from symptoms is it unexplained? No. You know you had a disaster there. You know you had a leak of radiation there. You know the people have been exposed there. So it's not unexplained. How dare you? It is explained. You see where it's coming from. You can see the pathogen. Oh, the doctor lingo. This is not a syndrome. You're not calling it a syndrome because you know where, when, why, and how, and the mechanics behind it. The biomechanics. You had biomechanics. Ugh. You had organic chemistry. You already know. Maybe you need to take refresher courses with Dr. Bill Deagle, and then you will know, and then it won't be unexplained. There, I just explained it to you now. Now it is explained. MOX reactor, Asashi. MOX reactor to restart this month in Japan. 9 fault lines run underneath it. Now, why would you start a MOX fuel that has the plutonium in it and other bad juju stuff in there? Why would you restart it after the government just said they know that it was the fault lines? How's that when it was the fault lines moving that caused the meltdowns? It's the fault lines, and you got 9 underneath one of these reactors, and you want to try to restart it? Why is that? Does that have to do with radiation poisoning of your brain? I hate to be so crude and rude, but isn't this getting ridiculous? This is worse than some kind of crazy comedy. And don't think you elite out there, you're immune to this too. Oh no, you're not. Unless it was like what was it, Scarface, you cockroaches? Are you the cockroaches over there? Because they're the only ones that are immune to this stuff. It's the cockroaches. I read this, I smile because it's so stupid. Some of the things that they come up with are like ridiculously stupid. I'm sorry to say that. I can say that because that's what my degree tells me, that I can say that. And all my years and years of classes does let me form a professional opinion with my sunglasses on, with them off. There, they're off. My professional, it's bad for my eyes to stare at this screen like this. Do you understand? We know what the catalyst is. We know what the problem is. We have all the statistics in. It's not a mystery. We know all, now you're even admitting it, but then you're still going to try to restart. Hey, if I walk in front of the train, I could get hurt. There's so much proof of it, but maybe I won't. Maybe the train will go right through me like in that movie Ghost. Right? That's about how stupid some of these people sound. You know, it just really does. With the reports that come out, you know, I think there's something really wrong with you, and it's called crimes against humanity. It's called liability, accessory to a crime, against humanity? You're aiding and abetting because you're blocking the truth? Oh yes, you guys are all up for a real big reward very soon, if you don't get any radiation poisoning, but who knows. TV, upcoming academic studies to report. Wait, I gotta put these are prescription. TV, upcoming academic studies to report on fallout situation in U.S. Oh, upcoming academic studies. All along the West Coast, we're going to be seeing the news. It's called the bad news, alrighty? You gotta get, basically, my opinion is you gotta get out of there, alright? Unless you feel lucky enough. Like you're a lotto winner, and the odds are you'll win the lotto and it's not gonna do anything to you. Get off your lazy behinds and prepare and implement what you need to do. Thank you very much. I'll say it again. TV, upcoming academic studies to report on fallout situation in U.S. All along the West Coast, we're going to be seeing the news. Also yesterday, see, they're going to tell it to, see, they're going to post this on the 4th of July, like you're not going to watch it, see it, and it'll get buried in something else. But there's so few news that it's the first one on the board here. Shock? Russia owns 20% of all U.S. uranium reserves? Top nuke official. We are now mining in Wyoming. This is something you probably couldn't imagine some 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know why you guys just can't leave that stuff in the ground and leave it alone. There's plenty of it up above the ground. And you shouldn't be using it for weapons and not using it for anything else. There's enough in our biosphere now. It's irreversible. Do you understand that? Why are you going to dig more out? Why? Why dig more out? There's no reason to. Leave it alone. And those who invest in this stuff, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Oh well, you're going to sit there, and all the people that were hurt, you're liable too. You invested in it, you better have the liability insurance to cover your behinds, huh? Because this is all crimes against humanity. Remember that. Investor. Alrighty then. I think that's it for tonight. I don't know what else is going on. I'm sure Pastor Paul Begley probably has something going on. Maybe I'll go look over there real fast. He's probably talking about the dead fish right now. Let's see. Let's see. Let me turn the sound down. I don't need anything popping up. But usually he gets stuff. He has he has such good resources. He gets some of his stuff before I do. That's why I check him, because he gets it from all over the world too. A lot of his members send him things. I subscribe. I'm one of his members. Let's see. Oh, he says, Vice President Joe Biden microchip. Mark my words. You know what? Let's see if it's still on there. I'll play it for you, but I'm not going to turn the camera around. I could, but I don't know how it's going to look. I'm probably going to mess it up. Let's play it anyway. Let's see. What is it?
Serious? Here we go. Remember when
Here we go.
Supreme Court Justice John Roberts was being questioned before Congress? Well, here's Joe Biden before he was vice president drilling, and listen to the prophetic words that Joe Biden, then Senator Joe Biden, said to John Roberts.
implanted in a person's body to track his every movement. There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
Really? Let's hear that again, Joe Biden.
Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over.
He did.
Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
What? One more time.
Can a microscopic tag...
Okay. Let's go back. Okay, let's see. I hope I didn't do anything wrong by going there. Alright. Well, that's what he has for right now. Hopefully you could see it. If not, hopefully you could hear that. So, see, this has always been in the big plan for all of us. Alrighty then. You have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. It is 4 days down. It's the eve of Friday. And I'll see you again tomorrow. We only have one more day left to go. See you tomorrow. And there's Max in the background, jumping around.